Why I gotta sneeze right as soon as I click, you know, go live. What's up with that? Not okay. All right. So I'm going to be working on reconciling background thread shenanigans today. Because the way I'm doing things is not okay. It's not okay. It ain't right. Why is it not right? Well, I'll tell you in just a moment. Okay, so what am I doing right now? Right now, what I have in my ECS system is this archetypal query, like this archetypal for each. And what do I mean when I say that? So when I previously was using like data pools where each type of data would have its own pool of data. Each you know, like transform entity data would just be a there would be a transform pool, and it would maintain all of the entities data in there. That's the data pool approach. The archetypal approach is to instead have an archetype that defines a combination of data that an entity can have. And you have these archetypes automatically created for every single combination that exists currently. And so why do we do that? It makes iteration a lot faster, because for every one of these queries, like you're only getting the direct data on that archetype. And so when we directly iterate over it, it's faster. And I was seeing about a 30% increase, 25 to 30% increase of performance when I switched to archetypes. Now, why are archetypes a problem for background threads? Because to maintain these different sets of archetypes, these different entity data configurations, you have to move data. You have to move it around. Whenever entity data gets added or removed from an entity, which happens, then you have to, you know, take the entity from one archetype and move all of its data over to the other archetype. And so now whatever pointers you had or whatever data you had from the old archetype is now invalid. Or at the very best case, it is stale. And I was seeing like some crashes from it. And it was actually running surprisingly well despite that. So basically, the archetype, when you do anything on the background thread and you're working with references to the data, like that data could become invalid at any time because it could move. So that's why that's a problem. So what am I going to do about that? I was thinking about just going back to the entity data pools, because I want to move most of my things to the background thread. I do. So I was thinking, you know, maybe archetypes were a mistake. You know, the 25 to 30% performance increase that I saw, you know, maybe that's not worth it, because, you know, if it's on a background thread, I just have way more resources to work with. I have 8 extra threads, right? At least on my CPU, I have 8 extra threads. Actually, I have 10 if I use the foreground threads too. But anyway, maybe I should just do that. I was thinking, you know, I basically just redid all of this. I don't want to have to like undo it. And I was thinking, and I was like, okay, then you could maintain, and I was talking to Gemini about this a little bit. And so I'm gonna try to have the best of both worlds, which might be a mistake. I have this indirection table that stores valid pointers to a certain entity's data. And so whenever entity data gets added or removed, and we're moving these archetypes around, these entities around within these archetypes, and the data is moving, I can update the pointer here, and this pointer will be valid. It'll be valid. Now, I'm thinking about this, and it's like that pointer you know, if you're storing a pointer, like looking at my target processor, this is one of my long-running background thread tasks. Any pointer I get in here to entity data, that pointer is still going to potentially become invalid at any point, like right here. I think it's a crash I just witnessed. Or right here, sure. So this is, you can see, like, the data is like just already bad. It's already bad. Private account, what's up? Welcome in, good morning. Illy, background threads, yes, classic. So yeah, threading issues. And so, you know, maybe this indirection table is not a good idea. For that reason, it's like, yeah, maybe I always get the updated pointers, but it's like, that only really is going to be valid on the game thread, in which case I don't really need to worry about the pointers changing. I can work with the pointers on the game thread and it'd be totally fine. So it's like, I have to get by value on any background thread, right? And so I need like a templated function that returns a template tref, you know, out. Or out value. Right, and then I need to be able to write to the data as well, which is going to be an interesting case. And any background writes that need to happen, if they're happening to a pointer on the entity data, I think that's actually fine, because that shouldn't change. You know, if I'm working with the ability system component or whatever, that should totally, like, changing anything on there should be totally fine without needing to, like, write. Like, something like this, state tree data, like, this would like, I don't know how to write an individual member to this state tree data and have it be valid. I guess I need, like, to be able to use it within a scope that is locked. It would be nice if this could return something that could keep the entity system locked, I suppose. So that would be really nice. But the first part, I think, is get by value. That's going to be the easier one to do. We should just do that. But this is also going to copy data. But it's okay because it's not a background thread, so it's not going to be... You know, all my background thread processors are going to end up taking longer, but they're running on a background thread, so I have longer. I have more resources to use. So I guess we can do get entity data safe, and then just dereference the pointer. But well, no, we would need to check if it's valid first. And if not, just like return a wait, what? It was get entity data value that I want. IGS Ghost, welcome in. What are you coding, bro? We're working on a video game, so I'm working on an RPG, Colony Sim Roguelite, where I am intending to run the entire world, or at least as much as possible. So, trying to do some pretty intensive performance improvements to get that done. Okay. Where are you, Matt? Oh yeah, you need to return a pool. Okay. We have that get by value. Let's just go ahead and restart. Rebuild. I remember you telling me it's Unity CPP. It's weird. I told you no such thing because Unity is not in C++ and this is Unreal Engine. I think you may be mistaken. But welcome back. Welcome back. It's Unreal Engine. So yeah, dealing with these threading issues is going to be kind of a can of worms, and I think this will probably just fail again. And there's going to be a lot of things I need to change. So this get entity data, this is going to be one that needs to change. I will need to get entity data value bool. I'll just say this is like has data, returns whether it has data or not, basically. And I think it can be inferred, right? This can be like an inferred template parameter. Yeah, I can. Nice. I like that. I like that, actually. That's useful. Okay, let's cancel that real quick. They just added enemy function to CPP. What does that mean? Illegal indirection. Okay, so I think I need to static cast to T pointer and then dereference it after that. I work on hardware stuff like drivers and design stuff. I also use CPP, but it looks foreign to me. Yeah, Unreal Engine C++ is quite a bit different. It's got like, it's all of its own types, essentially. It's got garbage collection and shit, you know. Everything's Pascal case, which I hate, but gotta live with it. So yeah, it's all a little bit different. You got all these different like macros and stuff like that. All these delegates and whatnot. So I'd like to think that it's a little bit more accessible. But it's got its own quirks, you know, just like C++, you know, standard C++ does. Yeah, we're just gonna chill out and build 52 goddamn things here. But welcome in, everyone. I'm working on a video game. I'm building a video game. Unreal Engine C++ is what I'm using. And it's gonna be a Colony Sim Roguelite RPG combo. So I'm thinking something like vanilla WoW, classes and combat, you know, talent trees, abilities, that stuff, plus RimWorld Colony Sim, plus like Hades Roguelite. And so it's got procedural terrain as well. So, you know, you might find some Valheim or Minecraft influences in there as well. And I'll see if we can show it when we pop in here. Usually I spawn like a bunch of entities in the world with this ECS system I'm working on. But it's under development, so we're going to turn that off for now. But I've been refactoring it. I've had it for quite some time. But I'm refactoring it. Here's like my initial performance metrics here. And then my latest ones are down here. So for some of these, you know, we've cut them in half. For some of these. These ones down here, like these have gotten like insanely fast down here. Okay, so let me show the actual world and not the garbage collector. That's funny. The garbage collector is causing me nothing but issues. Okay, turn mob spawning off. World map. Okay, let's just grab a random seed. Okay, so here's what the world looks like. This is just one random seed. Is this like normal ref counter or full on? It's full on garbage collection. If you use U properties, it has garbage collection. Yeah, here's the world. Here's just one small section. We got some underground caves as well, which were like a giga pain in the ass to get working. But once we got them working, you know, phew, it was a kind of a eureka moment there. Yes, I'm using AI to generate quests. And if my ECS system was working right now, I would show you. But it's just kind of proof of concept at the moment. There's nothing too crazy. But I essentially let it fill out a JSON object for me. And then I can deserialize that. into a quest with like different parameters and stuff like that. And it can spawn things in the world. Like it's actually picked stuff from my database to spawn before. I've turned that off because it was absolutely terrible about picking where to spawn things. So yeah, here's a little bit of the world. We got dynamic tree chopping, where like deforms the mesh at runtime, wherever the axe connects with it. And so eventually this will be based off of like your logging skill and your axe stats. And then I can keep chopping. And eventually your colonists, you'll need to grab these and take them back to your base to like a lumber mill or something like that, get them processed. But for now they just put wood in my inventory. You can just like drop, there's some wood. And you can use that for like a building system. So got a little bit of a building system in place here. You'll have to actually put the resources on the blueprint and then spend time building it. Right now the time is like super short just for testing, but eventually that'll be based on a construction skill as well. And all your colonists will have those same sets of skills. And you might have people who are good at construction and bad at construction, stuff like that. What game? This is a game I am working on. It has no name. It has no name. ECS systems are pain for a thing that's just supposed to be large table. They're pretty complex. Well, yeah, it's not just a large table. It is not just a large table, I can assure you. And here's the world map. So it's a pretty big world. Each pixel on here is a terrain chunk. There's me. Each of these zones are like there's supposed to be different biomes and stuff. I only have like 2 biomes right now. They'd have different names and whatnot. Twilight Vale Forest, Crystal Spire, Beacon Hills, Emberglow Marsh, Winter's Grasp. So I'm looking up here. As I hover over it, it'll give me different information about the coordinate in the world. Rime Frost Glade. So imagine those being like super flavorful and not just random AI generated names. Eventually, yeah, I'm reusing some of the WoW icons a little bit just for placeholder things. Is this going to be it's not going to be an MMO. I am only one person working on this. This is what I imagine Minecraft was like when I first played in 2009. Yeah, don't we all? Didn't we all? Yeah, it's gonna have some different challenges from Minecraft, and I think one of them, like, first of all, nothing's spawned right now down in the caves. So I need to get some ore spawned down here and stuff, but like the walkability of the slopes is kind of an issue. Because like in Minecraft, you can just hop up every block, right? So the slope, and then you can just dig. It's really easy to get up, right? It's really easy to like walk up from a cave, because then you just like mine blocks or place blocks, and it's really easy. But for this, like, it's not going to be so easy. I do have deformable terrain, which I can try and show. It's not super useful right now. It's kind of just also proof of concepted. We'll see if I can even get it to work. That's not... Oh my god, and of course that just broke it. Okay, we're gonna try a new seed. New seed. I need to fix the fucking torch. The torch breaks my, like, attacks to where I can't attack anymore. Okay, so this is like my meadows biome. What is this? It's a video game I'm working on. It's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite combo. And yeah, fantasy survival. Yeah, there'll be some survival elements, but I think I'm not just going to go like pure survival or anything. It's going to be more so like survival light, I think. But yeah, definitely we'll have some. This is like such a barren zone. Let me look at the world map here. Yeah, this is just this is massive. This is a huge zone. This is called Icebound Tundra. It is not going to be survival. It is not survival. Survival light, maybe. So RPG Colony Sim Roguelite is what it'll be. Okay. Okay. Destructible terrain. Will it work? No. No, it's not going to. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's not working. Not that it worked well anyways. I don't know why. Like, I'm not sure what I've done here. But I need to... I'm going to do it completely differently anyway, but more so just a proof of concept. See, look. There you go. That's kind of working better. There you go. Deformable terrain at runtime. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. A multiplayer. Yeah, I hope so. Really, right now, only the player is replicated, so a lot more work to do there. Oh, Jesus. That's a big cave, and I just fell. Will this be released on Steam before GTA 6? Well, probably it will take me another 20 years, so probably I'll beat it by just a hair. I am very old. I'm like 26. Okay, if that's the case, then I'm a fucking grandpa. Yeah, I'd like to show some of the Colony Sim stuff and some of the combat right now, but we're working on the ECS system, so it's not exactly working at the moment. Not exactly working at the moment. New seed. Okay, so we got a red zone here too. You say deformable terrain, I thought of Valheim. Yeah, I love Valheim. Valheim's a great game. Definitely gonna steal tree dominoes, the tree dominoes idea from them. You know, where the trees do damage to all the other trees if it falls. Like that paired with my like dynamic tree chopping or whatever you want to call this, I think it'll be really fun. I imagine trees will have like kind of like a health bar almost. And then if you have a, you know, depending on your axe stats, you know, wood axe, it'll determine, you know, how far you chop in there. And then, you know, when you finally chop it and then say it hits a different tree or even hits you, it'll deal damage to you as well. Bonk. But yeah, I made like a little red texture just to play around with it. I was gonna make like a whole red zone where like all the grass and stuff is red. So that's on the docket as well. Is this the WoW kind of RPG, kind of survival-esque game I've seen someone develop? That's someone you... It might be, unless there's someone else trying to do what I'm doing here. You can destroy a tree, but can you plant a tree in game? I'll probably have that as well, yeah. There will be, like, farming and stuff, so I imagine, yeah, you can do some forestry. I imagine. So what zone are we in? We are in Shadow Watch Refuge. Eventually, I'll pass in, like, all of the parameters of the zone into the AI to name, right? So, like, this is like a... Oh, this zone is, like, red, and it's, like, got fucking hemp in it, and sunflowers, and, you know, some rocks and trees, and it's, like, a flat, but it's got some caves. I'll pass shit like that into the AI. Give it all the mobs that are spawned in here as well, all the resources, all the points of interest. I'll need to do procedural points of interest here, too. And we'll let the AI come up with a flavorful name. This is like a nice, sharp, craggy, rocky zone. GG, good night, guys. Yeah, good night. Thanks for stopping by, my dude. Still better game, more content than Heartbound. Yeah, completely different game. Completely different game. But yeah, mine's not even in early access. So yeah, that's a little bit about the world. We can grab a new seed here. We're not they will be a bunch of different biomes. I have lots of ideas for them. And I want them to, the biomes to be like slightly dynamic. So like the jungle biome and the desert biome don't always have the same shit in them. Like you know, I have a forest biome and that's always going to be foresty, but maybe it has, you know, different mushrooms in it. You know, maybe it's got different trees in it. So, you know, the resources will be a little bit different. The mobs in there will be a little bit different, right? But the vibes will be the same. I'm hoping to do something a little dynamic like that to kind of to change it up. So I'm going for like maximum replayability, really is what I'm going for. With the roguelite aspects, I think that'll be really fun. With classes, I think that'll be really fun. With my snotty nose, I think that'll be really fun. Apologies for the sniffles. Apologies for the sniffles today. Can the character emote after killing NPC? If yes, you're gonna make millions. Okay, I'll write that down. I'll write that down for sure. Yeah, I think in any kind of multiplayer game, you need emotes. You just kind of have to, you know. The teabag emote, of course. Like, that's, I guess, the only... That's the only emote I have so far. That's the most important one, too. I would like different races to play as well. You know, like dwarves and elves and orcs and stuff like that. Like, I think there being like a procedural Iron Forge in a cave would be really fucking cool. Look at these trees. It's a nice little shady area right here. But let me see if the ECS system is working at the moment. I just changed things. So we have 2,000 guys spawned here, and yeah, it's gonna immediately fucking fail. Going to immediately fucking fail. So let's do get entity data value here. So this needs to change to a bool, and we'll just do something like, appreciate the subs, guys. Welcome in, Luffy, Hachiman. Thank you, thank you. So we're gonna say if that, and we can get rid of that, I think. Avatar entity data. Put that there. It's kind of a nasty if statement, I think. That'll need to be a dot. That will need to be a dot. But we gotta just like, we kind of just gotta like power through these, you know what I mean? Like, these are just gonna keep popping up till I change them all. What game is this? This game is called My Project. Welcome in, everyone. There's a lot of people here. Welcome. Good morning. How long did it take you to build the terrain? Well, that was one of the first things I worked on. So I've been working on this project for about 3 years now. Well, I think it'll be 3 years in November, if I'm not mistaken. But kind of one of the things that motivated me was procedural terrain. I always thought it was really cool. Always wanted to learn how to do it. And so circa 3 years ago, I decided to download Unreal Engine. Knew nothing about Unreal Engine, knew nothing about C++, knew nothing about game dev, knew nothing about procedural terrain. So if anyone out there is feeling like, you know, I know nothing about something that I want to do, well, you're going to continue to know nothing until you start doing it. And then 3 years later, you can be where I'm at, where you have terrain that I think looks pretty cool. And like, if you would have shown me, like, especially with the underground caves, the overhangs, like, for those who don't know, like, that is like a notoriously difficult problem to solve in game dev. It creates so many headaches. 3 years, no gaps, no holidays. Yeah, I haven't slept in 3 years, or eaten, or, you know, I've just been pissing and shitting my pants for for 3 years. Yeah. Oh, dude, look at that. Dude, look at that fucking cave. Holy shit, dude. Like, look at that. That's insane. Let's run over there. We gotta run over there because that looks fucking cool as fuck. Was that direction? Was that direction? So, to answer your question, how long did it take me to build the terrain? I think I worked on that for probably the first, like, 6 months. And, I'll say I did not make very good progress because, like I said, I don't think that's a good way to learn Unreal Engine. I think you should probably start with something a little simpler. But I'm very stubborn, so that didn't stop me. And so yeah, the first 6 months were a slog, but I think all the updates I've made to the terrain since have gone a lot faster because I've just learned more, and it's become easier. Are you full-time on this or just a hobby? It's just a hobby, just free time stuff. I will be going to work later today. What do you think the future will hold because they implement AI to generate terrain? Is anyone doing that right now? I don't think anyone has done that. I don't think you'd want to either. And like, I don't know, like using AI for everything is kind of antithetical to doing some things. Like I use AI a little bit, you know, I've been a software engineer for like 10 years now, so I don't really use it a whole lot, but it's nice for some things. It's nice for some things, that's for sure. It's nice for the things you don't care about, right? And so if you care about the terrain in your game, you should have a hand in it, right? You should have a hand in making it. And if you're gonna like do something like make a video game, using AI for everything it's kind of antithetical to doing the creation part of the game, right? Like the whole point is to like express yourself, you know what I mean? So like, do I think AI is just gonna fucking take over and take everything away from humans? No, I don't think so, because that's not the point of being creative and wanting to do things like create a game or really anything. And I mean, the current AI that we have now is just it's a generative AI based on, you know, analytical statistical averages. So it's like you're going to get something very generic if you just use AI for everything. Sometimes you want something kind of generic, and those are the kinds of things that it's good for. This is such a nice fucking formation that happened. What tech stack do you use at work? Nothing I'm happy about. I've used many throughout my years, but I'm in Angular, Dart, Java, a little bit of C++ at work, yeah. I'm getting into C++ at work now, due to some new engagements that I've sought out, which are quite exciting, actually. I can't stop looking at this. This is so cool. So what I do with the terrain, I actually have, I use compute shaders to generate the terrain, and I have 3 different ones. And so like there's 3 different steps. The first step is to generate the height map. And if you don't know how like procedural terrain works, a height map is kind of like just like if you laid a blanket over something. So that means that there can be no overhangs, no concavity, right? And so that's what you see on the surface, and like all these like little mountain ranges and this mountain, these are all just height map based. And you can have height maps really easy to work with because the noise is only 2D. So you can have a lot of control over it, and it makes a lot of sense. That's how you would first start if you were creating procedural terrain. The next compute shader I run is the 3D noise compute shader. And so you actually get, you take that noise and you do it on an additional component and you create 3D noise. I run a couple different kinds. I have some cheese noise, which is what Minecraft calls their noise, and then some noodle noise to kind of connect the cheese noises together. I take the noodle noise and I stretch it on the X and Y axis to make them like walkable. So you can get, you know, little caves like this that you can actually walk around on. And then in a third compute shader, I run a custom marching cubes algorithm that connects them together, kind of stitches them together. And I write some code to like punch out the height map. So there was like a bunch of height map here, and because there was 3D noise connecting to it, it kind of just like, you know, punched it out in a way. And that's how we got this really cool formation here. It's from that exact aspect. And like, let me tell you, that part specifically was the hardest part. Like getting the 3D noise and the height map to connect together without any seams or anything like that. So fucking difficult. Like you have no idea. But when I got it, oh boy, was it a glorious day when I got that figured out. Did you make a new terrain system? Yeah, I was just talking about all the stuff that I do to do it. And I've got even more ideas too. And I also have like physical materials. So if I were to do generate and show vertex data, so it's like, it's not inherently voxelized. Like you might look at this and you'd be like, oh, it's a voxelized terrain. It's like, I use voxel techniques. Like the height map is at a certain resolution. The 3D noise is at a certain resolution as well. But when I like deform the terrain, it doesn't need to, it's not clamped to any certain resolution. It's not constrained by a voxel size. Like I don't store any information. In a voxel, I store it on a per vertex basis. And so what we're looking at here is like all the vertex data that shows the physical material that the terrain is made out of. And you can see the material I've written takes this in as vertex data, and it can color it properly and put the correct textures on it. And we need this because, like, when you walk over grass, you want it to sound like grass. When you walk over dirt, you want it to sound like dirt. When you deform the dirt, it should behave differently than when you deform rock, right? So I need that data. And I'm just doing that on a per vertex basis. So if you listen, it sounds a little bit different when I walk over the grass and the dirt. And that was the stone as well. So if you listen carefully, you can hear the difference in the footsteps. Eventually I'll make that have some gameplay impact. Like, I think I want like some sort of like Zerg type race almost, or something. Some race that like spreads poop all over the place, or creep. And, you know, if you're walking around in that creep, it's going to slow you down. So you walk slower on certain materials, essentially, is what that mechanic is. What's procedural terrain? Procedural terrain is terrain that is made by a computer based on, like, essentially a set of rules. And usually those rules are based on noise. And the most famous noise is Perlin noise. It's kind of an old school noise. But what that looks like is this. So pure like white noise, right? White noise, if I can fucking type. Jesus Christ. So this is like a pure random noise, is like static right here. This is just pure random, right? These are pure, that one maybe not so much, but this is pure random. Not very interesting. If you add some coherence to the noise, it ends up looking something like this. And if you can use this and turn it into something that looks like this. How do you do that? So you take something like this. This is like a form of Perlin noise, or some, you know, there's a bunch of different kinds. Simplex is the successor to Perlin. But just look at this noise. It's all blurry and stuff. But like, imagine the black bits as lower in the world and the white bits as higher in the world. And what you get is something like that. So if you sample this data, you can have it as a texture, or you can generate the data. If you sample this and treat each index as like an XY coordinate, and then the value of the black and white, it would be a value from 0 to 1. You can treat that value from 0 to 1 as the Z component to your XYZ. If you do that, you get something that looks like this. This is your height map. That's how you do a height map. That's like the simplest form of procedural terrain, right? And what you can do is you just start assigning colors to that 0 to 1 range. And you'd probably add like a height curve or a height multiplier. I have a height curve myself. And so I could probably show the height curve. And so I apply, you see how this goes from 0 to 1 essentially. So 0 is down here. If you look at the vertical axis here, 0 is right here. And then 1 is all the way over here. And so when a 0 to 1 gets input here, it multiplies it against this, and it can kind of transform it a little bit. And you can see I kind of add some bumps and stuff here. And I actually make this one go a little lower down here. So it goes lower than 0. And that's just to kind of like mix it up a little bit and have a little bit more control over something like this that gets output. And so, yeah, there's a lot of math. There's a lot of math. But then what you do is you start assigning colors to the different ranges. So, you know, 0 to 0.1, you know, 0 to 0.1 might be dark blue. 0.1 to, you know, 0.3 might be blue. 0.3 to 0.5, green, you know. And then it starts to turn into a map. Right? It starts to actually look like a map. And, you know, you can take that pretty far. You can take that pretty far. And something like Minecraft, what they do is they just layer noise on top of noise on top of noise, and then it starts to create biomes and stuff like that. If you have different noises and stuff. So that's how procedural generation works. Now, the 3D noise part of procedural generation is pretty difficult. Pretty difficult, I'll say. So 3D noise looks a lot different. It would look like this. If you ran it through margin cubes, it would look like that. So here's what it just looks like on like a raw cube or something. But when you actually mesh that, you have to have a meshing algorithm now. Now you need a meshing algorithm, which is margin cubes, dual contouring, I think are probably the two most popular ones. Shout out to Paul Bork, who created margin cubes for medical imaging software back in the fucking 80s, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, then you can end up, you know, you can just, once you get the basics of that down, you can just start throwing a bunch of rules in. The terrain is generated at runtime. Yes, based on a seed. So it's deterministic. Deterministic and generated at runtime. But I just started adding in like a bunch of rules. So like the first thing I do is generate this map. And I use Voronoi cells, Voronoi noise, which is an algorithm that kind of gets you some cell. I can show what that usually looks like. For those who are interested, Voronoi. You can use this for, this is used for like fracturing things as well. The Voronoi kind of looks like this, where it kind of creates these different cells. And so my noise probably looks something like this when I run it. And what I do is I just iterate through each one of these cells, and I just pick one of my colors, where each color on here represents a biome. And what that does is it starts connecting these cells into interesting shapes. And that's how this doesn't look like Voronoi noise that much, because they're all like connected and stuff like that. And then I can go through and add like a resolution to it. And then what that resolution does is, this is 128 by 128, where each pixel is a terrain chunk. And I can get the value, I can get the value of each pixel, and the value looks like this. So this is the uncolored, unvoronoid world map here. So this is just, it's another piece of noise, right? This is the same kind of 2D noise that I was mentioning before. So you just kind of splat this on a texture. The whiteness has higher altitude. The darkness is, you know, 0 is black. That's ocean, right? That's what I'll treat as ocean. And so this is the same as this. And you'll see the dark and light will line up, but the different colors are the different zones. And so like if I hover over here, you can look at the altitude value. That's that value of from 0 to 1. So like this is like the highest point in the world over here, wherever this is. And I'm right here in the center. And so this altitude value can kind of dictate how high the terrain chunk is. And what I do with that is, that's just one of the many parameters that go into my height map generation. And so each of these zones, what I do is I just grab a random terrain noise that I have, a random set of parameters. And that set of parameters will output something like this, but for each different zone. And so part of those parameters is how much does altitude affect the zone. And so for a zone that's like supposed to be kind of flat, like this is like my flat noise. This is like my meadowsy kind of uninteresting noise, right? So altitude doesn't really affect this very much. Altitude affects this area a lot. That's how we have the high mountains here. And you'll also notice that I have these kind of mountain ranges around each zone. That's just another rule I added to my terrain generation. Because what I wanted was something more like a WoW zone or World of Warcraft zone, rather than a biome like in Minecraft or Valheim that kind of seamlessly blends from one to another. I wanted to actually surround these with mountains. So on the edges of these, there's a mountain range running along the edge of every single one of these. The white dots are breaks in that mountain range. Those are the entrances from zone to zone. So we have the miner's shaft of riches here and the boneyard of giants, and there's an entrance from one to the other right there. And this was just a design choice I wanted to make because I really like how WoW zones kind of tell a story, and they're this kind of like nice, compact zone with a story and a lore, and they have towns, and like the NPCs know what towns they're in and can reference that. And so that I wanted to do the same, but I wanted it to be procedural. So, you know, in comes AI to relate to all this stuff, because I've just assigned random AI generated names to each zone here. And I'll eventually do some procedural points of interest within each zone, right? Give those points of interest names. So there's that zone entrance chunk right there. So this will be that miner's shaft of riches, that zone, which doesn't really make sense. But I really like the experience that happens when one zone turns into another one. That's going in my Tinder profile. Yes, the miner's shaft of riches, mine shaft. But like if you're familiar with WoW, like that first moment when you walked from Barrens into Ashenvale. And for those who don't know, Barrens is like this African Sahara type zone, and Ashenvale is right next to it. And you can't really see outside of the zone that you're in, right? You can't really see into the next zone because most zones in WoW is surrounded by mountains. or some physical barrier, right? And so when you cross that threshold, when you find that entrance into the new zone, it creates this really powerful moment where the world just opens up and feels really massive, and it creates this really cool sense of exploration, because you'll go from this like African Sahara type zone, barrens, into Ashenvale, which is like a magical enchanted forest that's like all purpley and blue and green, and it's like this drastic change, and it's really cool. So that's the kind of change I want to facilitate. It's the kind of game design I want to facilitate. But I only have 2 biomes right now, so the change between these two isn't that interesting. Pro building his own universe. Hey, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. McNutty, welcome in, McNutty. All this terrain generation math running on the CPU or GPU? It's running on the GPU right now, so I use compute shaders for it right now. I have some refactors in mind that I think I'm going to put it on the CPU. And why am I doing that? Like, the GPU is faster enormously, but the thing is, like, in Unreal Engine, you have 1 render thread, and any data you need to sync to or from the GPU has to run on that render thread. So I basically have 1 thread to copy the massive amount of data that I need. And that is like, it's like a bottleneck, right? I now have 1 thread. If I were to run it on the CPU, I have 8 threads I can run it on. So I actually just have more resources. And there is a processor architecture concept called SIMD. Stands for single instruction, multiple data. And it's just like this, every processor has like a version of that on it, and it if you like hook into that, you can actually like generate data, raw data, like really fast, really fucking fast. So I'm thinking that actually running it on the CPU will be faster, but we'll see. I need to test it out. Are you making your own game, or are you making WoW worlds? I'm making my own game, just using WoW as inspiration for some things. Create a planet or a world in World Tree scenario. Okay, cool. Thank you. I'll get right on that. Planets are not fun. I'll just say it right now. Procedural planets aren't fun. I've been trying to find resources on how to make PCG terrain that can also be deformed within gameplay. Do you have any source in mind? No, but I could tell you how that could be done. Like, I don't think it's going to be very performant to generate it, but in PCG there are, if you're still here, I don't know if that person is still here, I kind of missed that message. Oblivion. There are some nodes within PCG that can interact with a dynamic mesh, and so I think what you would want to do is, there are noise nodes as well, so you'd need to sample some spatial noise. You would need to grab the points from that spatial noise and mesh them. So you'd probably, like, I don't know, like pick a cube or something like that, and then you would want to pass that into a dynamic mesh component, and you can build dynamic mesh components from within PCG, which is really cool. But that's not going to work very performantly, I don't think. I use dynamic mesh components for my terrain, but I'm creating them all in C++, so it's quite fast. So I think you're going to have a hard time doing that from within PCG, but you could probably do it on a small scale pretty reasonably. But on this scale, I think you would need to run it on CPP to like actually do it at runtime. What about the creatures? The creatures are a work in progress. I do have an entity system, so the whole idea for the game, it's an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite, and so I want to run the entire world, and that comes with like some pretty significant technical challenges, especially when you have procedural terrain. Like, I can't store all of this world in memory. That's way too much. So what I have to do is like really special things, like what you see here. And so you might just think that I unloaded the terrain chunks here, and I deleted the meshes. Like, the meshes aren't invisible, they're deleted. But the nav mesh is still here. Like, the shaded part that we're looking at is the navigation mesh. So what I do is the output that I get from my Marching Cubes compute shader, it's like a vertex and index buffer. It defines the triangles and what order the triangles are in. I can take that information and I can store it as a spatial data structure, like a bounding volume hierarchy. And what that means is that I can really efficiently query through it for line traces. Collision. This is how collision works usually for games, under the hood. I can do that, I wrote my own PCG nodes to sample that exact data. So now, like, I have much less overhead because I don't need to store the meshes for the terrain chunks anymore. I can just give that raw data to the nav mesh. The nav mesh knows that that data means there's going to be a tunnel here. I can still do pathfinding for all my entities out here, even though I'm not around. No player is around. The terrain isn't actually there. And for PCG can sample that data really, really effectively, really efficiently, and do line traces through it. Otherwise, you'd have to iterate over every single triangle and do a line segment triangle intersection check. That's like, it's not performant enough, right? It's not performant enough, even if you run that on the background thread, which is a bonus of this like system, that me like kind of writing my own collision system. Like, I can use it on any thread, right? There are some limitations to using Unreal Engine's collision system, where some things need to happen on the game thread. But what that means is all my entities in my ECS system, like, they may not be rendered, they may not have a physical body or anything that is actually shown on screen because they're way out here, but I can still move them around in memory as if they were actually there. And so that simulation that's happening isn't even actually a simulation at all anymore. It's the same thing that happens if you're there. So all that suffice to say, you know, if you build a colony right here, and then you run all the way over to the other side of the world, your colony's still going to be running as if you were there, the same exact way. There's no difference. And if you send guys out to the forest to chop trees, they're going to have to run all the way out to the forest, chop that tree, bring it back to base, you know, do any pathfinding that they need to. And if there's any wolves or bandits in the forest, they're going to get attacked by those bandits and wolves. Like, shit's going to happen whether you're there or not. And I'm hoping that that makes the world feel really alive. And that's why I'm working on doing some performance improvements to my ECS system so that I can handle more. Specifically focusing on multi-threading, so I can get like the absolute most out of it. So I've done some refactors. We're dealing with some challenges of multi-threading right now, but I think I have a way forward. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. And then, of course, there's going to be like NPC ran colonies as well. That'll create like different factions to interact with, you know. You'll get raided. You'll have to defend your base. You can raid other factions and stuff like that. There'll be some politics involved, you know. So that's kind of the goal for the game. When you eventually finish this, what do you think minimum device specs would be to run at 60 FPS? I have no idea. Like, I feel like I'm nowhere close. Nowhere close to that. I'm on a 7700X Ryzen CPU and a 3080 Ti. 64 gigs of RAM. I'll say RAM is my biggest bottleneck, so I think probably minimum RAM is going to be 16 gigs, which is usually minimum RAM for games nowadays is like 8. Although Oblivion Remaster was 16, I know, when it came out. So the more RAM, the better, because that means I can run more of the simulation, I can keep more data, I can add more terrain chunks, I can have more entities, that kind of thing. So memory is the biggest bottleneck really right now. But I'm running, it's at 90 FPS right now, and this is in editor, so there's like a lot of wasted FPS here. Let's see. Yeah, so probably in a package game, this would be running at 120 FPS higher right now. And these are all like placeholder assets. So they're not optimized. I have nanite turned on for all of this. Everything except the terrain is nanite. And all of these like the grass isn't modeled. So there's a ton of nanite overdraw happening there. I think the same is happening for the trees. Like, these are all not nanite optimized, so it should get better once I get some actual not placeholder assets and stuff like that. So, I mean, I have no idea. So I have no idea really. I'm too far from that to say anything. Make a planet looks like a planet from a distance. It needs to be insanely huge. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the problem with it too, right? Like, I think No Man's Sky is kind of like the only type of game that you can make where procedural planets are a good idea. And the downside of what No Man's Sky has done is that like you go to a planet and within, I haven't played it, but I imagine from within a certain number of minutes from when you step foot on that planet, you will have seen everything. And it's all samey. Because if you make the planet too interesting and too different, then you're going to spend too much time on a single planet. And a planet's fucking huge. Like, you'll spend the entire game on a single planet if you put enough stuff there and make it interesting enough. But if you have a planet, what you want is planet to planet travel, right? Like, you want to explore different planets. So like you can't have the planets be that interesting, or else you're never gonna the player's never gonna do the exploration between planets, right? And you're also just wasting, either the player's not gonna do that, or you're just wasting effort and resources on making the planets really interesting and different for the entire planet, when, you know, most players may not even see the entire planet, you know? So that's why I say procedural planets suck. I don't think that they're, like, I think Starfield wasn't a good, it was like the shitty form of No Man's Sky, basically. That's why I say, like, procedural planets aren't worth it for the complexity that is involved in generating a procedural planet, for how huge it needs to be. Like, it just, the game design around it is not very lenient, right? Like you can only do so much before you start hitting those drawbacks I mentioned. So are you going to create a godlike character for yourself to interact with NPCs and players? No. You mean like for like debugging? I mean, I'll have some debug stuff for sure, but they motivate planet to planet travel, with trading being locked to waystones and stuff, as well as quest lines that require it. Right, but the point I'm making is that, like, either the planet itself is very samey, you know, throughout the whole planet, and it's not very interesting after a certain amount of time, or it is very different and interesting for a while, and it's so big that you'll either never see it, so it's wasted effort, wasted, you know, development, or they just spend the entire time on the planet. So there's like drawbacks, and it's like you're not really getting, in terms of the amount of effort you put into making that system, you're not really getting all of that effort out unless you make it like kind of samey, right, at that point. And so that's just to say that, like, it's just not necessary for like the majority of procedurally generated games. Nice copy work on that 3 from WoW Hunter. Yeah, my aim shot, where that's my aim shot that is actually aimed. Yeah. I am borrowing some WoW assets as placeholders, yes. It's wasted effort. They had to invent a bunch of new proction stuff to even make it possible. Yeah, I'm not saying like it's not amazing what they've done. I'm saying that if you make the planets too interesting, there's wasted effort on the planet. But from what I've seen in No Man's Sky, like, the planets are kind of samey after a while. There's not wasted effort. And that's one of the drawbacks I talk about, is because the planet is samey, like, you don't spend too much time on a single planet exploring. And so that's just, I'm just trying to say that, like, procedural planets are, there's specific game design constraints there that you have to consider. I mean, the original release was samey, but over the course of a decade, they've improved it to the point where they are interesting. Right, but why would you spend more time on the planet? Right, like, if the planet is very different and not samey, that means you can explore it more, but why would you? Right? So either there's a reason to do so, and you're doing less interplanetary travel, which is kind of the point of the game, or there's no point to, right? So it's like, it's conflicting, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's some conflicting things there. People like looking at pretty landscapes. Right, but you, like, the point of No Man's Sky is the interplanetary travel. Like, that's the cool thing about it, right? That's the cool part. And yeah, they've gotten to a point where it's really mature, so maybe it's not that much more wasted effort. But I was just trying to say that there are, what was I saying? Design constraints for procedural planets, to where it's not worth it for you know, 90% of games. You have other problems to think about, like 8 of them. Yeah, that's true. How did you learn game development? I just started doing it. Just started trying and failing. No point of the game isn't a bad thing. I thought the point was exploration. Right, but which exploration? Exploration on a single planet or exploration between planets? I would say the point of No Man's Sky is exploration between planets. Like if you wanted to focus on single planet exploration, you might as well not make the planet at all, right? Because it's just more technically challenging. It's difficult to add weather like snow. I mean, I'll say just no in general, because I know, like, it's been done before, right? There's probably tons of tutorials on how to do that, right? But I'm sure, as with any system in a game, like, you know, just getting the base version of it can be easier, but like actually rounding it out to a full-fledged system can be harder. So, and I've not done it, so I don't really know. So yeah, I gotta work on the ECS system now. I gotta work on the ECS system now. Like I said, I have eight other problems. And I appreciate the subs, guys. I appreciate that. And welcome in, everyone. Okay, let's see. Are we still crashing? We'll see. Yeah. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Okay, so this one, is this happening? This isn't happening from a background thread. So what's the deal here? I guess I don't need this to be a reference here, do I? What are attached components? It's empty, so what's the deal? How do we get to... It's empty, so what's the... Why are we upset here? Have you played Gothic? I've not. I did recently change this to a ref. Let's not do a ref there. Let's not do a ref. I'm not sure why that would be an issue. This isn't happening on the background thread, so the pointer to attachment entity data should be stable. What's this game? It's a game I'm working on. Any sort of undirected game has some design constraints, given the player has to find the motivation inside themselves versus being drip-fed motivation in the course of a campaign or whatever. Yeah, not disagreeing with that at all. Just trying to say that doing procedural planets is like not worth it for pretty much every game that isn't No Man's Sky. Because they are doing procedural generation at probably the highest level that it can be done at. Okay, now what's happening? Get entity data value. Data pointer. Bro, did this really just fucking... Oh my god. Like, I don't even have a stable pointer for one frame. And doesn't this lock? Doesn't this lock? This did a lock to grab the pointer. Why don't you use cursor? Because I don't need it. Because I want to actually understand the code that is in my project. Okay, so I think what... God damn, that's so crazy how fast that happens. So I think this pointer became invalid after one fucking line. About actor class is valid. Wait, which... And this is happening from this? Yeah, it's get entity data value. Right. So I don't even have a stable pointer for one fucking frame. But really the caller of get entity data save needs to lock it, right? I can't rely on doing something like that. God fucking damn. So am I using this anywhere still, or did I change all this? I hope I changed all this. Right, so it's only used internally. Okay, so let's do this. Grab the read lock, throw it there. We will need that read lock for both of those places. The caller is now in charge of locking the thread, because it needs to decide what to do with this. Now this is like unsafe, basically, like only do this from the game thread, essentially is what what we need to do there. Okay, 53 things to compile. Take one down, pass it around. Would anyone like something to compile? I have plenty. I have enough to share with the class. You need to close it, semicolon. Ah, yes. The forbidden tech, the semicolon. There's a goddamn gnat that just landed on my mic. Get out of here. Elder Scrolls series, question mark. Change the distance of jump. Physics of player is not much good. No. Yes. No. Never change, YouTube Shorts. Never change. But for those just joining in, I'm working on an RPG, Colony Sim Roguelite, with procedural, destructible terrain, and AI-generated quests. What I'm going for is something like, vanilla WoW, minus the MMO, plus RimWorld, Colony Sim. This gnat needs to fuck off. And then like a Hades or something roguelite. I'm thinking very godsy. I would like gods to be a part of it. Kind of like Hades. Probably create my own gods, though, not use Greek gods. And then procedural terrain, so probably some influence from something like Valheim or Minecraft in there as well. Yeah. So still in the very early stages of it. I have like I'm not an artist, so everything I have is just like placeholder assets. And I am working on refactoring my ECS system. So like I have some performance benchmarks from where I was before I was refactoring, and I kind of been taking them periodically. So I've already knocked most of my processors down by like half. Okay, we're just gonna keep trying. Dude, what? How is that possible? What is happening here? What's happening on the game thread right now? What are we ticking? It's just running some graph task or something. Game thread. Okay, so let's just check my other threads. What's going on? Are we being naughty? No, everything's behaving. Foreground thread? No, okay, so literally only this background thread. So what's the deal here? The deal is that did not acquire the lock. I guess it's specifically the copy that's broken here. I wonder if I need to do something like this. So let's just like store this temporarily. Data pointer. This is like the static casted pointer. And then dereference the static casted pointer into the out value. Well, actually, would this data change underlying? So I would want a copy of the data. Is this making a copy? I mean, it is doing copy to empty here. I think it would be. Other is invalid at this point. I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and rebuild that. And I fucking hate how long this takes to rebuild. I really need to do a better job of isolating my entity subsystem changes from the rest of my code. See, staying templated functions, man. And so this is void pointer, right? Maybe let's change that to be explicit. Get data type ID T. Yes, very good. Very good. How is your ECS different from something like mass entity? It's a lot fucking easier to work with, for one. I tried to use mass, and it was like, mass is like, it's so fucking complicated. And I'm sure they have really good reason for making it so, but if you ever try to look at the mass entity code, there's like 100 classes. There's like 100 different classes and structs and whatnot. I just found it really difficult to use for anything that it did not have built in. And the only things that it had built in were like crowds and like pedestrian traffic, and then like car traffic. Like you had to use the zone graph, which is it's like predetermined navigation. You can't do any sort of arbitrary pathfinding or anything. And the whole trait and archetypal, what was it, traits and fragments system that they had was like really difficult to use. Like, and if I didn't have the documentation, what little documentation they had telling me exactly what traits and fragments to add, I don't think I would have been able to figure it out, because it's like traits require like prerequisite fragments, and then some other traits automatically add fragments. But then you try to add another trait, and it's trying to automatically add a fragment that was already added, and it can't. And it's just like, it was just difficult to work with. I mean, that's the end of the day. So I created my own just for flexibility, because I know there's a lot of different things you can do with an ECS system to prioritize different things. And so I wanted understanding and flexibility is what I wanted. So I wanted to understand why is it so complicated, right? Like, why can't we do something simple? And I've learned that. I have been learning that recently. So I've learned a lot. Might do a video about it eventually someday, but to kind of share what knowledge I've learned. Right now we're trying to get through multi-threading issues. Okay, so same fucking deal. Same fucking deal here. Why can't I copy this properly? Let's breakpoint that. Let's breakpoint right there before that happens. Hi, can I just subscribe? Thank you, man. Thanks for the sub. Get data type IDT. Yes, you said that before. Very good. Very good. And I, as a complete beginner in game dev, but with 3 years of web dev, build a basic multiplayer game in Unreal Engine. Is there any tutorial on how to build that? I don't know. I don't really follow tutorials or courses or anything, but there are lots of community, tutorials and documentation and answers and stuff online, especially on YouTube. So yeah, if you've got some coding chops, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. Of course, I can't really see what the data pointer is. And so this one works. That one works. This one is not going to work. This is the broken one. Is it just because soft object pointer doesn't copy properly? Do I need to override the copy constructor? Yeah, I don't know if this is an issue with the underlying data moving. So no, I didn't see anything weird happening on the background threads, and it does work for other things. So I'm gonna guess the copy is not working properly. So I may need to write my own copy constructor here. And it's like already bad here. Like it's already not pre-copy, actually. So maybe it's not the copy. I need to look at this get entity data save. Component map is untyped. So that's going to be, I can't see any information there. Why do you use IntelliJ for C++? This is Unreal Engine. IntelliJ has a writer, which is specifically built for Unreal Engine. And even if it weren't, I just like JetBrains products more. And Visual Studio is just not as good. Not as good. Let me try to find the... Does this have the components in it? No, just like the IDs. So let me look at this. Let me, I'll have to like dig into the archetype stuff. And so we're working with, what data is this? This is, what now? This is avatar entity data, which I think is the second one. Should be. Shared point. Goddamn. Data is empty. Wait, what is this supposed to be? You need just one thing, sir. Try and end the program line with semicolon. Yes, very funny. Very funny. I need to find the right map here. Where are you, sir? Is there no map with data in it yet? Can't even tell which data this is because there's no data. So all the data is like empty. VS has UE integration as well. I don't think it's as good. And Writer is free for non-commercial use as well, so there's kind of no reason. Writer has UE integration, but I can only find C-line as an option in the UE5 settings. What do you mean in the UE5 settings? You can just open the solution with Writer. And Writer should handle the rest, like setting it up and stuff. What do you recommend me to do if I want to be a programmer beyond college? Program. I mean, there's no secret to it. You just gotta keep doing projects and stuff like that. I know it's hard out there to get a job, but the more you have on your resume in terms of showing that you can do it for projects and stuff. All of these are empty. All of these are fucking empty. But yeah, the more projects you have, the better it'll look. Like, I don't know, even beyond just the UE integration for Writer, like, I don't think anyone would say that Visual Studio's IntelliSense and autocompletes are better than JetBrains products. So even if it weren't for the Unreal Engine integration, I think it would still be better. Okay, I need more information. I need more information here. What's happening? Entity query. So it's returning a pointer. We are returning something here. I mean, I guess it could be null pointer, but then we wouldn't be getting inside here. What makes you use IntelliJ over VS? It's better. Try it out for yourself. They're both free. They're both free. So just try it. See what happens. Contrast Dev. Thank you for the follow, mate. Appreciate it. And welcome in. Okay, what information do I need here? I need to know what's actually in these maps, and I can't really see it because these archetype maps are very, very type erased and abstracted. And this is all making me want to go back to my entity data pools approach, where the data was actually stable and didn't move around all over the fucking place. If component map, find, blah, 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 blah. I mean, let's rerun and we'll put a breakpoint there. I guess we can see, like, I can at least take a look at, I mean, the component map isn't fucking typed. Okay, where do I use this? I might throw the type in here just to see. Where did that go? Yeah, where am I using this at? for just the base get entity data. Yeah, okay, we use that in a lot of places. Okay, but the base get entity data is typed as well. Get entity data value. I could just run the get entity data. I mean, I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm just putting it into an output value. Okay, so let's look at I mean, yeah, that's not going to show me anything. That's not going to show me anything. Okay, template this. Or rather, just copy this. And then we'll just slam it in there. Okay, so we want this to be T point. Well, we can just... I go back to my old one. Where's my old one at? I mean, I guess it was this one. Give me that. We're gonna go back to this. Okay, we'll see how this works. Entity, pop that in there. Thanks for the subs, guys. Hugo Boss, Spear Luck, Story Time. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all. Do you have any idea about cloud-based game, how to create it? What does cloud-based game mean? Like, you just mean like a multiplayer game? Where I get supportive community for who knows only basic programming? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Not sure exactly what you're looking for either. Okay, so this actually has the ref in it. And honestly, we could do one better here, I think, actually. Auto component array. Gonna reduce a lookup here. I didn't even realize that. Get component. Wait, what do I do here? Oh, I find checked. Okay, no, I cannot do that. No, I cannot do that. Nope, definitely no. I don't think so. And then this is auto, like I think I can just, well, no, we want to make the copy here. So let's do T copy equals that. Okay, so I hope this will work a little bit better. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's rebuild that now. And let's, I'll put a breakpoint there so we can inspect this copy. I don't know, is this double copying? I actually don't, because this is a ref, and if I'm assigning to an output reference, does that make a copy? I wouldn't think so. Well, no, I think it would. So I think I am double copying there. But we're already going, so we'll maybe make that change after this works. This randomly popped up on my feed. What are you doing? I'm working on a video game that is going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain. And what I want to do is I want to try and run the whole world, like for real, like in Dwarf Fortress style. And I need an ECS system, which is just like a data-driven architecture to really, really efficiently run thousands and thousands and thousands of entities. So I'm working on building my own. I have been for the past, well, I've had one for quite a while. And I've been refactoring it over the past week. Probably going on like 10 days now, actually. I've been learning a lot. I've been making a lot of mistakes. And I've been learning about just the different trade-offs and stuff like that. Unreal Engine, which is what I'm using, has a built-in ECS called Mass. But I tried that a while ago, and it was so fucking difficult to work with. And looking at the source code for Mass, like there was, of course there's very little documentation in typical Unreal Engine fashion. So looking at the source code, is this Java, but you're using pointers? Is it CPP? Yes. The .cpp files are filled with C++ code. I know it looks a little different because it's Pascal cased. That's because that's Unreal Engine's convention. So Unreal Engine C++ is a little different, a little bit different. But yeah, if you look at the mass engine or the mass entity source code within the engine, there's like so many fucking classes, man. So many fucking classes. Prismatica, my dude. Do you know if it's possible to manually ensure that objects and their contained data are adjacent in memory to reduce cache misses? Yes. Yes, I do. So what you'll want to do is you'll need basically just arrays, like just iterating over arrays. For example, a character gets all its attributes updated in one go, and the attributes interact with one another. Also interacts with objects outside of the character, but less often. Would it be groovy to make sure all the attributes are loaded in the cache? Not sure if any of that makes sense. Yeah, in the general sense, I think so. It does make sense. And what you want to do, like your arrays are your source of, that's like the memory is in the array. And so the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're working with references. Like, I know you're probably, you have to work in C++ for that, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if you're doing that already. But when you loop over that data, you need to make sure you're doing it by reference. And so, you know, something, you know, the ampersand is a reference. That means you're getting the actual thing. If you do this, this is now a copy. So that's going to be extra work that you don't need. But that's like step one. And so if you're using things like tmap or tset, you can use those. It's going to be less efficient, but if you do need to use them, f like thingo. You probably have an f thingo struct, right? Thingo. You can do thingo dot compact. No, you can't. Is it tmap? Maybe just because it's irrelevant here. Give me a type. Yeah, compact. So this will put it all together in memory. So that's if you need to use a tset or tmap, you can do that. Another thing you can do is if you know you're going to fill arrays, like say I have an array here of fi entity, you know, entities with actors, sure. Like if I know I'm gonna fill this with something, what I can do is I can allocate the memory up front by using reserve. And I need to do a ref there. So I can do reserve. Like say I know I need to allocate maybe a at max entities.num here. I'm going to allocate that memory up front so that when I'm looping over it, I don't need to pause to allocate that memory to add into here. And so the adds will be faster. That's another thing you can do to speed it up. But really it's just your arrays. Store things in arrays is the best way. And you know, everything, if you have any pointers on the data, that's going to be a cache miss basically. So pointers bad. You know, you have to use them at some point somewhere, like you will need some pointers, but like reducing the number of pointers that you need. Keeping your data small is another thing. That's a pointer one. That's bad. So like transform, I had a bunch of stuff in transform entity data. And so I split it out into a different, like I had velocity in here too. So if I hover over this, I can see the size is 112. I think a cache line is 64 bytes. And so is transform that fucking big? How big is transform? What size are you now? Transform is 96. That's insane. Hang on, let me see something. Why did I do F location? F vector. Rotator. Rotation. Vector scale, sure. Oh god, why? Why? So how big is this now? Okay, go. Thank you, please. Go away. I'm just trying to see. 80. Okay, so what the fuck is in a transform that requires? Maybe I should not use transforms anymore. 72. Well, that's better. That's going to be better for cache locality. So it's like when I iterate over transform data, like this data is right next to each other. And so like the smaller you make this transform entity data struct, the more so it can, like, when you grab location, it will also grab rotation and scale. So that's going to be like that's your cache. It'll put those in cache when you access location. And so if you have a bunch of processors where you don't need rotation, you might even consider putting these in different structs. And so you just go down to location here. Like if you just have like a velocity processor that all it does is grab location and apply velocity to it to get a new location, like this is now 24. Now when it grabs location, it's grabbing the next entity's location as well, because the next thing in memory is the next thing in array. So making these very small is important too, which is something on my list as well. I've been kind of taking a hacksaw to them little by little. Yeah, I didn't realize transform was that big. I did learn the other day that multiplying transforms is a non-trivial operation. So if I'm iterating over an array of attributes for a given character, it should load all of them into the cache in advance before starting the iteration. No, so it loads as much as it can. And like I said, a cache line is 64 bytes, I think. So it loads the next 64 bytes. And so it depends on how big... if your attributes are structs and they're not pointers, it depends on how big your... Like if your attribute is just a float, the float is what, 4 bytes? You know, you might have health might be an attribute, right? Health. So this is now what, 4 bytes? Yeah, 4 bytes. So yeah, this is going to be super fucking fast to iterate over. So it's going to grab the next, like, what is 64 divided by 4? It's going to grab the next 16 entities when it goes to grab that data. So that any loop over that is going to be so fucking fast, right? It's going to put a bunch of entities in cache. Now, it depends on what other entities or what other, attributes you need to grab. Maybe there's like a float damage or something, you know. I don't know what your attributes are or anything, but like making these, basically making your structs and your loops only, making your structs only contain what the loops absolutely need to iterate over is going to make that faster, which is something on my list that I need to do for a lot of these. But yeah, as for like, I mean, I'm sure there is some impact on blueprints you can do, but I think to make sure that you're doing it, because like, I don't know, like, does a for loop in blueprints grab by ref? So let's grab a blueprint right here. Give me my character. Base. Can you for loop by ref? Is that a ref? I mean, I guess I have to like plug something into it. Well, that's a fucking array of pointers, so that's not really gonna help me, is it? Let's just make an array. Make array of, sure, color. There you go, that's a struct. Refresh. Yeah, I don't think that's a ref. Because the refs are like pointy things. Because you can get a ref. Yeah, so the ref is the pointy, the diamond one. So yeah, I don't think this for loop is efficient. Because it's copying every struct that goes in there. And so it's grabbing from data in one spot, copying it into like a complete arbitrary spot. So yeah, I don't think you'd be able to take advantage of it very much with that. But I still think that you would get some benefits from, like, you know, keep your data small, your structs small, make sure that they only have in them what is needed to iterate over, and then I think the actual iteration will happen faster because you're doing less copying too at that point. So I still think that principle would apply to blueprints. So yeah, I made some changes and I've completely forgot what they were, but let's just click play and see what happens. Oh yeah, I made the copy changes, so I'm doing some copies here. Does this look good? I think this will be the ability data, so that should just have a pointer on it, weak pointer. Yeah, that one was always good. So this should be okay. This looks good now. Yeah, the soft object for the actor class looks good now. Now I think this is doing a double copy. So let's see, okay, we fucking crash anyway. Great. Fantastic. Switch to actor. Now why would... What is this avatar data? This avatar data ain't... Oh, because we are getting the pointers. Ah, the dirty hobbitses. Tricksy hobbitses these pointers are. Must be tamed. Yeah, I need to fucking change this completely, man. This is not good. I need to... Yeah, we should probably change this into its own, like... This needs its own for loop. I should just put this in here, because it's already running on the game thread. Yeah, this was back from when it ran on the background thread. And look how much faster this one got. So this one's really interesting. Memory redundancy. Yeah, I was doing a double copy there on accident. So like, look at this entity representation processor. Max, my previous system, when I was using U objects for everything, just to make it easy, max was 54 milliseconds running the representation processor, average 3.6 milliseconds, median 3.2. So, you know, not super slow at all by any means. Now look how fast it is. Look how fucking fast it is. 0.06 milliseconds. Like, even though it wasn't taking up very much time, just changing it to structs and making sure that I'm doing like really tight loops, splitting up some data to where it's not, you know, basically everything I just talked about in terms of cache locality. Like that is an insane, absolutely fucking insane speed up, even though it wasn't that long to begin with. Like 0.06, like that's fucking nuts. So that's just an example. A lot of these other ones, like the heavier ones, like velocity was taking 24, 25 milliseconds. Now it's down to 14. So it's like, you know, like a 33% boost right there. 33% boost. So not bad. Not bad. How are you thinking about splitting code into Unreal modules? Oh, that's the neat part. I don't. I should. I probably should. That's why my everything's like recompiling a lot. Just converted and ran into some issues with circular dependencies, etc. might be a better way. Well, you could just forward declare to get rid of circular dependencies. But I think the modules is more so about when you compile, you make sure that you're not compiling too much. I think is what helps there. But I could be wrong. I don't really create modules at all. Everything's one single module. Did you just use a calculator for 64 divided by 4? Okay, Steve Jobs, get out of here, all right? Not everyone can be a math wizard, all right? I'm a programmer. I don't know, I ain't no goods at the arithmetics. I guess I'll just do some profiling when I get around to it. Yeah, I mean, that's going to show you whether or not you're doing it right, you know, and what kind of changes are beneficial or not. My attributes aside from location, target, velocity are pretty in-depth and varied, so ECS didn't really make sense to me. Like the attributes have attributes. Oh, Jesus. That affect... Well, okay, hang on. Goddamn. The attributes have attributes that affect attributes, which affect attributes. Jesus Christ, man, what are you doing? Give me an example. I ended up with a graph of objects for everything. I guess the saving grace is that entities get updated sparsely with tick list loops, so sometimes like 10 seconds between updates. Yeah, I mean, I had all my entity data in U objects. It makes it very easy to work with. But yeah, the performance isn't great. And if you only have like, are you updating everything in a single tick loop? Or is that what you're doing? I think I'm leaning towards ECS for location and stuff, but objects for all the other stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, I still have basically all my gameplay in ability system component and like the attribute sets. That's where all my attributes are. And I need like right now my max is like 200 entities in combat before I drop to like 20 FPS. Do I need autism to do this? No, you just need to be really fucking stubborn. Although autism might help a little bit. But yeah, I was bottlenecked at like 200 entities at like 20 FPS. So I need to rewrite gas, and I'm going to rewrite it into the entity system. Because it's going to, like, it will scale so much fucking better. Okay, character blood amount affects consciousness, which affects dizziness, which affects aiming. But are you storing aiming, or is it a derived field that is ephemeral? Does that make sense? Like, are you just calculating aiming when you need to, or are you storing it? Are you using Java? Nope, this is C++ in Unreal Engine. But spinning around in circles affects dizziness and therefore aiming without affecting consciousness. It sounds like you have a difference in attributes. You have some attributes that are static, or not static, but like, you have some base attributes, right? Like blood level, like blood amount would be one. And then you have some other attributes which are like derived from combinations of other attributes. And so I think those derived attributes, I don't think you would actually, if I'm thinking about this right, aiming is stored, yeah, so it can be references by other things. I think you would just, I mean, depending on how many other things need it and how complex the calculation is, which I wouldn't imagine that it would be, right? Like the CPU is very good at just doing arithmetic. So if you're just doing like some simple, you know, modifier multiplication type thing, I would probably just change that to being calculated when it needs to be calculated. Unless you're like, I don't know what you're doing with it. But you can store less data and probably make that system a little easier to move around from UObjects to, like, you know, an ECS system or something. But yeah, I'd have to know like the nuts and bolts, the real nuts and bolts. All these need to change from pointers, I believe. But this is on the game thread. I'm just gonna let's take a hacksaw to it. Fuck it. We're gonna move it. Goodbye. Don't need you anymore. I don't think so. Okay, just fucking paste that bad boy in there. All right, we got rid of that. As valid actor representation, which we already have. Get entity, yeah, so I just need to, oh god, this is gonna be kind of annoying. Let me see here. I need bounds data. Are you serious? Ugh. I mean, I have that. This is gonna be a thick boy now. Okay, so avatar entity data, we need F transform entity data. Also, why are these not const refs? These all need to be const ref. I don't know what my system is actually doing with those. Transform data's F transform entity data. What else? We needed bounds data too. So F bounds entity data, which just defines like the actor radius and half height, really, which is needed for my collisions. Bounds daters. Okay, so transform data. Transform data, transform datas, bounds datas. Okay. Yeah, something's gonna be derived, although then there might be a potion that directly affects that thing. I see. Okay. Potion of good aiming. Yeah, I guess you, yeah. I guess you would just store the application of that potion, though, right? Because it's like you have some timer on that, I presume. So there's some, like, ephemeral piece to that as well. I think you would just store that effect, and then that just become that effect. I mean, that's how the gameplay ability system works, right? Like, you'd have that potion as a gameplay effect that has a modifier to an existing attribute. I'll see how bloated it gets and if my computer explodes. Yeah, do let us know if the computer explodes. Would like to hear that feedback. What are you working on? Game Engine and CPP? What edition? I'm working in Unreal Engine. Here's for the insight, very useful info. Yeah, of course, absolutely. Absolutely. What CPP version does Unreal Engine use? C++17. You're welcome. Okay, avatar data. Okay, we need the ref for that now, actually. So change that to ref. Okay, everything's resolved now. We're all resolving. I think my system is pretty similar to gas from what others have said, although I don't have any distinction between attribute, effect, thingo. I need you to have a U thingo. I need that. I've had enough. What have you had enough of? Tell us. King of Kings. Amateur Rust Dev here. I like your code style. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I guess we need fucking attach data in here too. God, this is doing way too much. And anim data. Okay, attach data and anim data. Attach data is f anim entity data anim datas. Okay, let's can AI, can you please give that to me? Can you please? There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Attach data is now guaranteed and is not a pointer, so we need to change that. Remove attachments takes a pointer, which is weird, but we'll roll with it. Attach data, I guess, needs to be a ref. Also weird. Probably shouldn't do that. Anim data pointer, I no longer want the pointer there. Wait, where was anim data at? There it is, okay. We literally just need the cached transforms. I should probably just... if this is going to run on the game thread, this whole thing should not be here. Well, did I put the attachment processor on the background thread? I forget. Is this background thread? No, it's not. So if I'm going to keep that on the game thread, then I don't need to do this, because I guess the reason this entity representation processor is responsible for... Let's start rebuilding here. The entity representation processor is responsible for swapping the entities between, and we can probably just, let's actually comment all this out. Don't need that. For swapping between ISM and actor. So, and the reason I'm doing like attachments and anims and stuff is so that that swap happens without like a frame of them being like in T-pose, basically. But if we're going to run both on the game thread, then I can guarantee that these run. I just need to make sure representation processor runs before attachment processor, and then I won't need to do any of this right here, which will make it a lot tighter. Make it a lot tighter, but we'll see. We'll see. We just need to make it work right now. What is this? I did something wrong here. Oh, I didn't add it to this part, did I? No, I didn't. No, I did not. Attached data needs to be a ref. Anim data is const ref. I have them all? And also in the right order. Okay, I think so. I think so. Oh, I do think so. Shout out to Jared for finding that clip for me. What CPP version we rocking here? Yeah, it's Unreal C++. Yeah, but I think it's based off of. I mean, I just looked it up. It looked like it was based off of C++ 17 or something. I don't know. I don't know. What happens if we Google search in Google search? I'll have to ask my dad because he Google searches Google to get to YouTube. He Google searches Google to get to Google to type in youtube.com into Google search. And I've tried to tell him. I have tried to tell him. He's stuck, you know, just let him be. You know, he's not hurting anyone. He's not hurting anyone, you know. Okay, now what's the fucking deal here? Resetting the instance data state tree. This is null. Because we're using pointers here. This needs to be a reference. This needs to be a reference now. So this just needs to go into a processor as well. So this can be in a... We need to make a new for each. So subsystem for each, game thread for each. Yeah, baby. Okay, scope name is U entity state tree processor. Process entities, not that, but I'll take some of that. Process entities, we'll say game thread. Game thread stuff. It's game thread stuff. And then let's pass in some templated shit in here. So we would definitely want this guy. We want that. Do we need a bit? What else do we need here? I think that's it. Oh, we need proxy actor too. Pesky proxy actor. So F proxy actor entity data. Okay, so we'll just say proxy data. Okay. And then we'll just copy pasta, you know. Copy pasta. Well, I need to hang on. Before I do that, 4i. Dude, did I lose my 4i? What fucking happened to 4i? That used to be a macro. Weird. Okay, I have to raw dog this 4i now. Okay, well it did it for me. Thanks AI. So we want const, or no, F state tree entity data, yes. Okay, so, and then I just want if, well, yeah, we need to if auto proxy actor pin it, yeah. So if we have the valid proxy actor, then we can do this shit. Change that to, oh, this is supposed to be state tree data. Change that to state tree data dot. There we go. And I need the entity, I guess, as well. There we go. Okay. Comment all of this out. Did I comment out in the representation processor the game thread stuff? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Wait, did I? Well, no, I just kind of deleted it. Okay, so hang on. We can comment that out. Comment it out. Okay, are we good? Love how the minds of creators work when explaining things. Always 3 separate sentences going on at the same time. Yeah, I know. Okay, what did I miss? Oh, I didn't put in proxy data there. Yeah, it is kind of hard to concentrate on multiple things at a time. Who knew? Proxy actor entity data construct. Okay. Oh, yeah, I was like, what the frick? Okay. What am I making? So yeah, I'm working on. What is it still wrong? What more do you want from me? State tree entity data. Not convert argument 2. From T component array F state tree entity data to T component array F state tree entity data. Wait, what are you saying to me right now? It's a ref. It's a ref. No LSP? What do you mean? I mean, yeah, there's an LSP. Const to... Did that not save properly? Because I added that. Why is that not correct? Why are you saying that's not correct for me? For error highlighting. Yeah, I mean, it exists. Some things just are only caught by the compiler, because this is like I'm passing in a lambda to a templated, a variadic templated function. Like this function, like the LSP cannot handle this monstrosity of C++ variadic template metaprogramming. It just can't. The templated I mean, I think the same is true for regular C++ as well. But yeah, I mean, like all the pack parameters and like the fucking, yeah, it's a nasty function. So it doesn't understand the like the func that's passed in here isn't typed. It's like templated. So it doesn't know what to do with this until it compiles. And now I don't understand like why it's telling me. Am I a fucking noob? Like, why is this? I'm doing something really obviously stupid, right? Hang on, let's just do this real quick. Just comment everything out. Okay, yeah, so that's fine. Okay. State tree datas. I passed in. Wait, hang on. Am I fucking? I am dumb. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot how to use the function that I wrote. Okay, now we're fine. We're fine. Wait, no, I didn't paste it back in. Okay, now we're good. Didn't know how to use my own function. I almost told you. Well, I was trying to get the code working so I could show you guys. So it's an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain and AI generated quests. So here's some procedural terrain getting spawned here. This is just like one seed. Just one random seed that we've picked. And so there's just one small section of the world here, like the terrain chunks. And then each terrain chunk is represented by a pixel on this map here. So this is the world, and like each one of these different colors is like a different zone with a different biome and stuff like that. And then this is the world. And there's like this really cool formation over here that popped up. But yeah, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm working on. And my plan is to run the entire world for like the colony sim things. Like, you know, you can build a colony here, and then if you run to the complete opposite side of the world's like 15 kilometers large, so it's very big. I still want your colony to be running and to have to, you know, move around and stuff like that. And yes, I did create this. Been working on it for about 3 years. Solo. Just free time hobby stuff. But I want to run the whole world. That's why I need the ECS system. That's why I'm writing my own, to have more flexibility of it. Understand better. And we have 3D terrain. So it's like it's got overhangs and it's got caves, which was like a huge breakthrough for me. But we got this like really cool formation that happened here. So yeah, there's a little bit of the world. And you make footstep sounds that it randomly cracks a stick so the sound environment is more realistic. I mean, yeah, I could. That's pretty low. It's pretty low down on the list of priorities, though. An obsessive genius. I'm one of those things, and it's not genius. This is Unreal Engine. I have dynamic tree chopping. So, like, wherever my axe connects with the tree, it actually, like, edits it at runtime. And so this is how, if I can actually hit it with the shitty animation that I have. There, and it'll chop through. And then you can get wood from it. And then I can continue chopping. And I got like a little building system. So I can use the wood to, like, you know, build things as you would do with the building system. There will be like a building skill level. And you can send your, like, colonists to go, you know, craft stuff for you to build your colony and stuff. I would show that right now, but we're working, like, usually I have a bunch of entities spawned in the world that you can fight or, like, recruit. But, yeah, we're working on that system right now, so I didn't want to spawn any to show the world. We can check out a different seed here. That was seed 675. We'll go 676. Keep going, man. I would like to buy this game. Yeah. Don't hold your breath. It's going to take me like 20 more years to finish it. I am the scope creep king. Now, this is a really nice seed, actually. This shows a really good example of the variadic height and, like, the different textures that I have. The colonists are British, question mark. I'm not sure what made you think that. I mean, sure. You have a problem with the British? Thanks for the subs today, guys. I appreciate it. Not 20 years, I believe. All right, Draconin, what's your estimate? Welcome in, by the way. Welcome in. How many hours you've used approx on this? I mean, I can't measure that in hours. I can't, like, I don't keep track of it by hours. I can't even approximate that. I've been working on it for 3 years. Oh, the super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support, my dude. That's a nice hippo you gave me. Thanks, Brad. Think I should export CFFI for... Well, I know nothing about rendering engines or anything, so I can't help you there. What's going on? Working on a video game, just kind of showing off the procedural terrain a little bit here. And just kind of hanging out. We're working on the ECS system at the moment. Oh, there's a nice cave right here. My estimate, 3 more years. What? Wait, to fully come out or like early access? And in what state will it be in? What's really cool is, like, when you... So this cave system, like, this is actually 2 different zones, maybe? So this light green zone is a different zone than this dark green one. And I think this cave might go through to the other zone. 3 years to early access? Okay. Okay. It's better than my 5 years estimate. I say you've used 500 hours. Oh, my sweet summer child. Buddy, I streamed for 120 hours last month. And I work on this outside of streaming as well. And I've been working on it for 3 years. It's more like 5,000 hours, at least. At least. I mean, this does kind of go somewhere. It doesn't... I don't think it goes to the next zone, but it kind of goes somewhere. Just goes to the other side of the same zone. My sweet summer child. He said 500 hours. Ugh. 500 hours. Dude, I will fucking suck whoever's dick could do this in 500 hours, I'll be honest. That would be insane. That would be insane. I appreciate you for thinking that I would be capable of that. I'm not. You got it, Della's Hope. Mahadev is with you, brother. Thank you. Well, it's a good estimate. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. What's game about? It's an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite, procedural destructible terrain, and AI-generated quests. Let me see if the ECS system is working now. We're trying to iron out the kinks here, so let me go to the test level. Okay, and we're just straight up thread locked or something. Oh no, we're destroying. What are we destroying here? Oh my god, spare me. Can I skip this? Nice. Okay. Yeah, the state tree does not like being started, does it? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And why are you so angry, huh? Why are you so angry? Riddle me that. This is the async one. Okay, that one I cannot skip. Type ID is not registered. Uh-oh. Why did that happen? Let's see what our info is here. Yeah, that state tree data is completely wrong. Yeah, that's just entirely wrong. Okay, why? Why? Yeah, because I'm writing... Because I don't have the stable data. Right, I need to... Okay, so I need to change all my back... God damn. I need to change all my background. I need to put this in a read... in a write lock for the state tree data. Yeah, okay, we're getting into it now. We're getting into it now for sure. Okay, so I have my little Locky boys, don't I? Oh, but they're part of the archetype, right? Get locked for entity, that's in the archetype util. Oh no, it's not. It's here. Okay, so it's private. I guess I could public it. Why not? After all, why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I make it public? Okay, state tree processor. We grab the entity. Subsystem. Get entity. Get lock for entity. F write lock. F write scope lock. All this write lock on that bad boy. That's gonna be... It's gonna be interesting. We'll see if that works. I don't know if that's going to work. We'll just slap a mutex on that bad boy. Wait, why am I rebuilding 50 things? Oh, because I made it public, duh. Okay. What are you coding? This is a video game. Working in Unreal Engine. It'll be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite. What are you coding with 3 question marks? You know what? I'm not going to answer you. I will not answer you again. Song is from Nickelback. Is it now? The song is, it's in the player. There is a player on screen that shows the song. Any compiled lang without garbage collection is a pain. Well, Unreal Engine has garbage collection. I'm mainly good at Kotlin, Python, and SQL. Recently started learning Docker as well. I hope that I can build my own game as well, but for starters, I want to make something like Brawlhalla, so if you can give me some tips, that might help. Yeah, I don't really have any specific tips. I would just say pick an engine, download it, get going. You know, you've learned other languages, so you should understand, you know, how best you learn now, or at least on some level. So I would just say do the same things you did for learning those things, but in game dev. Does the GC apply to the C++ code though? Yes. For U properties. Anything you mark as a U property is picked up by the Unreal Engine garbage collection system, which is it's standard to put U properties on any pointer, on any U object pointer. Struct pointers cannot be U properties. Is that React.js? You're funny. New here, what are you coding? What's my favorite game? Probably RimWorld. Probably RimWorld, followed closely by Vanilla WoW, and then maybe after that something like Legend of Zelda, maybe Ocarina of Time. So what do you recommend? Yeah, I don't have any specific recommendations, my dude. That's different for everybody. You got to figure that out on your own. Everyone's got a different place that they start and a different path. Okay, now what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So we're using pointers again here. The dirty pointers. Now, enable or disable actor. You're now called from a place that doesn't have a pointer. Correct? The dirty pointers. Yeah, so we should probably just pass. Oh, but we don't have it there. Would we need it? We don't have an entity. So yeah, we wouldn't use it there. Okay, so we will pass in we'll pass one in. We'll pass one in. Actor, entity. But this is on the game thread. This is on the game thread. So why is this an issue actually? Attach components is null. Or not null, empty. What's your fucking deal? What's your fucking deal, bro? Favorite console? Neither. Why are you complaining? Like, what's the issue? Did it change during the for loop? Start index. I mean, can we just continue? Okay, we can. State tree data, it still doesn't like that. I guess we need to right lock here as well. I'm thinking. For this entity. Instance other store. What is other here? A very empty. I'm trying to. Do I need to do? I mean, if I assume if I don't do this, it's gonna something else is gonna happen. I'm like essentially resetting the state. Okay, let's try it again with that right lock. So yeah, that's gonna be very interesting. Okay, we built, okay. I tried playing RimWorld, got overwhelmed, I should check it out again. You should, yeah, there's a lot to it, but you can kind of like, Ocarina of Time, not Twilight Princess. For my favorite, oh no, I would definitely prefer Ocarina of Time. Twilight Princess was good, and I enjoyed it, but Ocarina of Time is my jam. Is there an app, website, or anything else you recommend? Nope. Yeah. You can start easy on RimWorld and ramp up the difficulty as you go. Okay, we're just like thread locked now, right? We're like stuck on lock. Yeah. Yes, we are. Probably because. Oh, yeah. Because, yeah, we can't do this inside the state tree at all anymore. Okay, so this is going to need like a fucking massive refactor, isn't it? Okay. Can I be a little bit more targeted about this right lock? So I need to right lock here. All this does is just start the state tree. Let's see here. Where do I want to move this right lock to? If I could. If I was a right lock, where would I want to be? I should probably... I think for now, maybe let's move this to the game thread for now. Let's move that to the game thread for now. Because, yeah, that's just going to be... And we need to remove the right lock. Oh, and I know why that was fucking. Okay, hang on. Maybe we can. Maybe we can do one better. Because I was just starting that every fucking frame. That's not right. It ain't right. It ain't right. Okay, go away. I don't want you anymore. Go away. Should stop tree. If state tree, yeah, so if we do like that's the condition we want, right? B should stop tree. What is that from? Oh, I need the ability system data. Let's ignore that for now. Ignore that for now. Okay, so that might be a bit better, actually. Let's see. That probably still... Would I need to right lock? I don't know. We're gonna try that again. I think I probably still need to right lock that. Let's try that again. There's a lot of changes I need to make for this. And it's gonna suck because I'm not gonna know if it's like gonna work until I make all those changes. And then it might not. Do you think Power World is kind of like a watered down version of RimWorld? No, I think it's a completely different game. With a different audience. Okay, nothing. Yeah, so we're locked again. What background thread had it? Well, I guess it was just a nested. It was a nested lock, right? Yeah. Okay. So get rid of this lock too. This isn't going to work. This is not going to work. How would you improve the punch-out used on your 3D noise system and height map to improve this cave? What cave? I do know the lerp that I do to connect them together could be better. Because I know the resolution where they connect together gets quite low and quite choppy. So I need to do a better job there. Okay, so we got somewhere else. I've gotten somewhere else. The dirty colony data. Yes, of course. My interstate. I mean, this is just gonna happen. This is just gonna happen all over the place. And is it because we're on the background thread? Maybe I still want to not. Okay, let's move. This one's just, the state tree does so much. It just does so much that that's going to be a separate thing. That's going to be a separate thing. Okay. Thank you. Oh, Potato! How did you get the name Potato? That is a great name. Congrats on the name Potato, and thank you for the sub. Appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it. It's a really unique channel. It's the first time I've seen someone game designing live worth a sub. Thank you. Thank you, Potato. I appreciate your sub. I'm glad you think it's interesting. Still? Again with these pointers. Yeah, we just gotta... God, I gotta like move everything off the background thread. Movement data. Yeah, I guess we can get this one by value. This is a pretty easy value, boy, here. Let's not turn on caps lock. Movement data. Get by value, yeah. So we'll just change all of these little dirty pointers. That's an easy change to make. That's a good one. It's a good change. Is this just a hobby, or you seek fortune out of it? Just a hobby. Fortune is nice. That would be nice, so that I could do the hobby more. But I think if you were doing game dev for the money, it's for the wrong reason. And you are destined to a life of not having commercial success, probably because your games are going to be soulless. I would guess. No, I mean, the way you make pals work in Palworld looks kind of similar to RimWorld. I mean, it's a very common thing for all colony simulator games. They need to work on the pathfinding in Palworld pretty significantly. Yes, the enable or so why is this one failing? Because this one is running purely on the game thread. Well, I guess maybe something on the background thread could have written to... What would it have written to? Attached actor? Which is empty. So yeah, something did get changed. What was happening on my background threads? Nothing. Nothing was fucking happening. Okay. We might have passed up whatever it was. Have you played Factorio or Satisfactory? Both. They're both very good games. I guess I don't need the ISM data anymore. Yeah, so I still am... I guess this one's the issue. Attach data. We should pass in attach data here, probably. I don't have attach data in switch to actor. Jesus Christ, okay. Yeah, lots of updates need to happen. F attach. Attachment entity data, attach data. Update that. Attach data is now passed in there. This one just needs to be empty. I did it as a ref. I mean, okay. You're really gonna F attachment entity data. Attach data. Attach data, attach data. Okay. Rebuild. What else am I doing in that enable or disable actor? Anything dirty? I don't think so. Oh, yeah. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Okay, we'll see if that's it. Well, no, because I'm not using the move component anymore, so that's never going to get hit, actually. I should remove that code. I rewrote the movement component. Do you have a full-time job other than this? Yes. I was addicted to Factorio. Been there. Been there. Reminds me of another YouTuber I'm friends with. He'd also does coding and game dev. Hell yeah. What are you coding? We're working on an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite. I'm trying to build my own ECS system right now. And I'm making some changes that are proving to be problematic, to say the least. Which processor is this a problem for? Move to processor, which I did slap this on the background thread too, right? Yeah, okay. I should probably just move everything off the background thread until I'm ready. I mean, but what really is ready in this sense, right? What? I don't understand what some of these issues are. So we get, is velocity data bad? Get settings for move speed. This is on entity data. Oh, on movement data. Okay, so this one changed. Or rather, it has empty fucking settings. Ah, yes, because I'm doing all of these fucking pointers. God damn it. Okay. Oh, dear. A lot of these I can probably get by value. I think I can probably get these by value. I'm not doing any writes, am I? Get new rotation? No, I think these are all reads. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. All of you need to be by value, but I should actually, a lot of these I probably have. And I just need to pass. Oh my god, I have to like oh my god. This processor is a mess. This processor is an absolute mess. God, okay. Okay. Oh, this one needs a massive refactor. Put it on the game thread. Put it on the game thread for now. Everything that I just put on the background thread is now not going to work. Can you explain, can you quickly explain what is ECS and why you're creating it from scratch? So it stands for Entity Component System. It's like a data-driven architecture that takes advantage of your CPU's cache locality, and it can run thousands and thousands and thousands of entities very, very efficiently because of this cache locality principle. Why am I creating it from scratch? Unreal Engine has one built in called Mass. I found it very difficult to work with and very difficult to get it to do what I wanted. And the reason I'm building my own is for a combination of understanding and flexibility. Okay, this is still an issue. Even on the game thread. So I have a feeling that, like, there are bigger issues here. It seems to just be for movement, though. So maybe we can just pass the movement data in. We'll just do this one by one until it works. We'll try that. We can do a const ref here while we're at it. So give me f. We'll do const f movement entity data. Movement data. Now no longer a pointer. Okay, update that. Movement data. So we would need to. Goddamn. Okay. F const f movement entity data. Say it with me. Pass it in. Don't need to do that anymore. Oh, this is happening from fucking tick. Ugh, I'm so upset. Oh, I'm so upset. So I already know we should convert these to processors. Subsystem for each. Scope name. Lambda. Scope name is this, but on the game thread. Okay, so what do I need here? Give me that. Give me that. I'll know what to do with it. Well, this is specifically iterating over entities with actors. I should just get by value here, maybe. Let's just get by value here, actually. F movement entity data. Movement data. Come on, you can do it. AI, give it to me. Okay. There we go. Okay, that'll work for now. And now you need movement data. Movement data's. Okay, F movement entity data. Plural. Datas. That's the plural of data is datas, if you guys didn't know. That can be const. Const F movement entity data. Okay. Is the world healing? Are we saved? You get tired of explaining what you're doing to new people in chat. It does get a little. It gets a little tiring. I'm sure it gets tiring to hear as well for those who are returning. But, you know, I get like I do like engaging with chat, so I do like talking about it and what it is. I think it's a fair question. You know, what are you working on? What's the game? That's a fair question. What is bro even doing? I'm hacking into the mainframe. So I assume ECS is responsible for responding, movement, and all the actions of entities in your game, am I right? Yeah, basically everything. Yeah. Locked. Bro, what is so bad? Like, why is movement data so annoying? This can be a get value. Okay, change this. Okay. We're just ironing them out one by one. One by one, we will take these out. We're in, yeah.
Hacking into the mainframe, sir. You put up a firewall.
Why is this a vertical stream? So that it shows up on YouTube Shorts. There's a horizontal stream as well. So if you prefer that, by all means, come in. We have a whopping 8 people in the horizontal stream and 100 in the vertical stream. So for those, I can show it real quick. Here's the juice. Here's the juice. RPG, say it with me. RPG, Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain that is also going to be destructible. And I'll have AI generated quests as well. So this is just one small section of the world. Now, usually I have a bunch of entities spawned that I can interact with and stuff, and I could show you the AI generated quests and stuff like that, but working on that right now. So what I'm showing right here is dynamic tree chopping, so I can it deforms the tree at runtime, the mesh. Yes, and we have underground caves, 3D noise caves. So, you know, will be some definite Minecraft inspiration. Need to work on like spawning ore and stuff in here. Be some monsters, of course. Here's the world map. So every world is different and stuff. So each one of these are different zones. It'll be different biomes. Frostfang Hollow. They have different names, and so going for like super flavorful names. And so it's not just like the desert biome is the desert biome, the jungle biome is the jungle biome. Like they'll be different, right? They'll be slightly different and have their own names with their own named points of interest, and like the AI quest generation will play into that as well. Did you divide the quaternion by the flux capacitor value? Don't say the word quaternion in my chat, you will get banned. It's a trigger word for me. I'll have like foraging skills, tree chopping skill, construction, you know, harvesting, that kind of stuff. Mining. I would show some of the Colony Sim stuff right now, or some of the combat, but I can't. There's a fireball. Here's a heal. Here's Frost Nova. Yes, I borrowed the sounds from WoW. I know. Where bedrock? There's no bedrock. It just goes on forever right now. Using Perlin noise for the terrain. No. So Perlin noise is kind of an older noise. The successor to Perlin noise is simplex noise. So there is some simplex or gradient noise is also what it can be referred to. But I use all sorts of noise. So I have 3 different compute shaders that I run for the terrain. I have a height map generator, I have a 3D noise generator, and then I have a custom marching cubes compute shader that stitches them together. And then I have a bunch of different rules for like each zone has a different set of like parameterized noise. These ones all happen to be the same, which is interesting. That's actually a really cool seed. But we can check out another seed where it's maybe a little bit more apparent, the different terrain noisies. So yeah, this one you can tell is a little bit different. Actually, these 2 noises are the same, but this one is different. This is like a larger, slower rolling hills. This one has like more-ish hills. Let's try another one. 6, 7, 8. So this is actually an example of my altitude blending, because you can see over here, this is all one zone here. So you can see it's actually like rougher over here. The noise, like you can see, like there's like these little like mountains over here on this side, but once I go over here, like it's kind of flatter over here because the altitude is just lower. But then this zone over here is just like completely flat, apart from the mountains that are at the borders. And then you can see this zone is a lot different. It's got larger noise. So yeah, that's a little bit. It's a little bit about it. But let's continue working on the ECS system. More errors, yay. Okay, so this one again, colony data. I think this one can be by value. I think this can be by value. But I mean, why is... I kind of want to ditch the archetype system. I kind of want to ditch the archetypal queries. Even if I get this working, like what kind of a world am I going to be in? So I switched from like an entity data pool approach to iteration, where the data is stable, but it's not stored as effectively, so the iteration speed isn't as fast, to an archetypal situation where the data is stored like kind of on a per entity basis, but it's like stored in separate combinations of existing entity data. And that's called an archetype. A combination of entity data, certain combination of entity data, and then all of the entities are put into that archetype. And then when a processor queries for a set of types, you just grab all of the subset, all the archetypes that match a subset, or that is a subset of, I think is the way to say that. And the iteration speed is faster that way. But it means that anytime entity data is added or removed, that you have to move it to a different archetype. And so what's happening here is when I'm running things like on different threads, the pointers that I grab become invalid because the data has moved out from underneath it. And I don't know why colony data would have been. I guess it's just like an entity. This entity has changed, right? That's the issue. This entity's got like a movement data removed from it or something. I guess it would be a lot easier to not have to worry about the archetype, the data moving. And what I'm trying to do to work around that is essentially I have to lock the entities. If I basically need to remove everywhere I grab a pointer to a piece of entity data, I need to change it. If I need to write to that data, I need to put it in a scope lock where I make sure nothing else happens to the entity system for that entity. And if I only need to read from it, I need to grab it by value. Which I guess this is a grab by value part, but it's just going to be the work involved here. It's such a big refactor. And it's not like a trivial thing. Like I use this in so many different fucking places. And it's just a I guess I don't care if I have it or not, because it's just going to be empty, so we don't need to check that. So it gets a little simpler, but this is C++, yes. Okay, and I don't know, should I just bite the bullet? I'm trying to just do the bare minimum to get it to work, but like, I'm wondering if I should just bite the bullet and just go change anywhere that we were using the get entity data on. And let's just see what that looks like. 106 results. So I'd have to change all of those. I would have to change all of those. So it's like I keep wanting to just like iron these out one by one to just do the bare minimum to get it to work, just to have like a stable place to go from. But that's going to be pretty slow. Control C, Control V, Gemini. Yeah, you want me to do that for every single file in my code base? I wouldn't even want to add the, like, I have Copilot. I don't use it much, but like I wouldn't even want to do that with context. Oh, look at that. Okay, it worked for a second. Tick newly spawned. This is a mass editor thing, right? Oh no, this is animation budget calculator. Can we skip, please? Skip. Set, what a... On set actor transform. Get entity transform. Ugh. I have the transform data. Why am I doing this? Oh, to like specifically do this. Yeah, oh my god, I'm using it in so many places. Okay. Just start ironing them out. Gotta do it. Transform entity data. Get entity data value avatar. The avatar. Okay, that one, I think we're good, right? Well, no, we did it. We do it here too. I guess if I'm just returning transform data there. I don't really give a shit about if it's existing or not. Okay, so the get in, that's it, and this is one I use all over the place, so that's probably a pretty good one to change. Why not use OOP? I don't know much about game programming, but wouldn't that have helped in this case? No. No, it wouldn't. So I'm making an ECS system. It's a data-driven architecture that uses the principles of cache, CPU cache locality, to run thousands and thousands and thousands of entities. It does use some object-oriented principles. It do. Okay, now what's the deal here? Is pawn not valid? Pawn is null. Oh, I didn't even check if pawn was null or not. Yeah, I don't do that, do I? So, object-oriented programming is not like... How do I say this? Why is pawn? I don't have pawn. Okay, so let's do this instead. Undo. I don't have the actor pointer. Return. Yeah, object-oriented programming is just a style. It's not gonna like... That doesn't help me with memory moving around and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What do you think about Silksong? Just released for around $20 and it already feels like it's dominating other games. Yeah, I mean, it's a really good studio. They made an award-winning game, so they took their time with it and made another good game. So it's no surprise. Wow, they moved once. What's null here? Row index is 0. Why are my entity data maps not updated? Can't believe UE still doesn't ship with an ECS. It does. It has mass. What, why? Yeah, something's wrong here. Archetype record. Archetype. So remove entity should be clearing those. Component types, component arrays. Oh no, it doesn't. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. That's actually fine. But what's the deal here is that data is not... Yeah, there's only 19 data, and it says index 50, but then row index is not 50 here. So where are we reading this from? We get entity data val. Why is this one always the issue? Target processor. Okay, so what's happening on the game thread here? Okay, we are right locked on the game thread because we are updating a tape. Okay, so whatever I've done over here didn't lock. Okay, so it locked it for the current entity. What entity is this? 219. Oh, and so, well, I guess it's waiting, right? It's waiting because it's we're reading from it. So what's the issue? The row index here is it's fucking 0. Why is it saying array out of bounds for me here? What happens if I skip? Apparently we can just skip that. Okay. Okay, now we get to this, which... What are we doing? Anim node. Anim instance proxy. What is happening here? Skip. No thank you. No thank you, please. The skeletal mesh component. Okay, so there's something wrong with the actors now. Jesus, this is such a mess, man. This is such a mess. Appreciate y'all being here for me, just like... Look, I promise this was working so well yesterday, and then I tried to put everything on the background thread, and that's when it started breaking. Yesterday the entities were moving, there was something wrong with hostile entities. But then you fixed that, what did I missed? Yeah, so we're I guess we're past that now and on to different things. Not sure how to recap what's happened, but so same kind of situation here. Is it the same data? No, it's movement data. Yeah, dude, doing the data pools, it would be so much simpler. But I could actually use pointers to entities and their data. I know, we're locked on the other one. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. I don't know what's happening here. 76. What's our data? We have 77, so like what's the fucking deal here? Yeah, don't we? Add data record row index. Component. I don't know what component array we're grabbing. I guess there's some component array that doesn't have the proper data. And the problem with the templated programming is you don't get very good debug information. All this looks fine. Yeah, I mean, there's some piece of data that's like invalid, I guess. But I guess we can skip that. Apparently, new transform contains not a number. That's nice. Oh my god, I want to change everything now. Okay. Okay. Turning cog. Welcome in, my dude. Yeah, so I kind of want to take a step back and just fucking redo everything. There's so much archetypal nonsense happening. And it sucks because I had the entity data pool stuff working. Should I just like... I've made so many changes since then though, like... Oh man. So the question is like, do I go back to that? Do I rewrite that? I think I would rewrite it. Like I don't think I would revert, go back to the commit, you know? I could strip out everything that I've done here, and then we would get it back into a working state. The entity data pools, huh? Cherry pick, hell yeah, I just cherry pick the... how bad would that be? I mean, I guess I could just take the entity subsystem file, which wouldn't be too bad. There are some concepts I want to stick around though that I've updated even within here. This register function's a lot nicer. Excuse me. Just getting all these erroneous errors. Let's just go one entity. So everything should be fine with one entity, right? There he is. Barbecue sauce on his titties. $100. Oh god, the representation oh my god. Ah, he's freaking out. He's tweaking. They're all tweaking. So yeah, everything's broken. That guy can't decide which side he's on. Dude, it is so randomly fucked up, man. That's so crazy. Okay, I kind of want to undo everything I've done today. Today was a wash. Why are you blue? I'm blue. You're not supposed to be. There you go. It's so bad. I like all the changes I made today are so bad. Oh boy. Do I roll back everything? I forget if I had any changes that I didn't want to roll back or not. Oh yeah, just changing all the types to auto was one. So that's kind of annoying, but oh yeah, I don't even need that. Yeah. That one I would probably want to keep. Yeah, that one I need to keep. I think everything else can roll back though. Indirection table was a wash. It's just an absolute mess. Okay, so roll back everything that's not that, I think. I think we can keep that one. Yeah, we can keep that one too. Infinity spot. Yeah, that's all good. Okay, roll it back. Actually, let's shelve it. Might as well shelve it, right? How do I shelve changes? I don't want to shelve silently. Do I have to right click? Shelve changes. Okay, call this. What am I calling this? Archetype indirection map. What? Failure. Okay. Wait, did it shelved everything? It's, I specifically set what I wanted to shelve. Okay. Fuck. do. It was this and proxy actor, right? Okay. There we go. Yeah, I needed those changes. Okay. Okay. We're good. When are you gonna add TikTok to the multi-stream so I can troll you on a third platform? Yeah, that's tempting. That is tempting. Getting trolled 3 times by turning caucus. You drive a hard bargain, I do have to say. Okay, let's see how much better this is. Now that the hundreds of people, thousands of people are gone, let's see it work. My GF's games crashed with access violation. That's just a memory access issue. That's just like it's like a catch-all, kind of. Like it just means that there was something in memory that was supposed to be there, but that is not there anymore. Wow, look how much better it works. Look how much better it works when I just undid everything. Oh yeah, it gets a little laggy when they're all actors. It's kind of trippy watching this. Like they turn on a dime, some of them, so it's almost like they're blinking. It's a sick mosh pit, yeah. They have spiked maces. That's not a mosh pit I would want to be in. It's mesmerizing in a way. Yeah, so that works a lot better. Okay, so yeah, that was a fucking wash. Let's commit what I have here. I forgot why I did this. I was having some sort of issue with something or other. What do I even... This is going to be misc fixes. I don't know what that means. Okay. Okay. Let me look at Git. Where's the archetype refactor? Here we go. So let me look at entity subsystem base. Oh yeah, I still had the fucking frame data cache and command buffers in there. Oh damn, this was from this feels like so long ago, but it was like last week. How many days ago was this? This was 4 days ago. It feels like forever ago. This guy creating a game right now, and I'm working on my Office web app and adding translations to the website. Boring. Hey, I'll be there too, and I should probably actually get going. Probably. I'll be there too soon. Don't worry. I suck with creating. Hey, I've been doing this for a while, so don't compare yourself to other people, right? It's a recipe for feeling terrible about yourself. I've been doing this for a while. Yeah, so if I were to, how do I just grab this? Can I just grab this one? I could just copy paste. Cherry pick selected changes. Okay, give me that. That. I guess I would need the CPP file, right? That. That. I probably need the spawner too, but let's do that separately. Changes. Do I really have to merge conflicts this? Can I not just like apply all? I mean, I can accept from left or right or whatever. Oh god, this always throws me through a loop. Patch version, result. Wait, neither of these are what I want. I want this one. Oh, and I have so much more entity data now. Yeah, this is not gonna be a fun stream to watch. I think I want this one. Board and rollback, yeah. Yeah, I do. So wait, why was that? Cherry pick maybe. Is cherry pick not the right move here? Revert selected changes is I think what I want. I think I did the wrong option. So we want entity system utils, entity subsystem base. Are those it, or did I have more? Yeah, so we want all on right. I think I probably want all these though. I need the extra pieces of data. Really just fucking give me everything, because I don't know what the order is. So just give me everything, and I'll just do one of these boys here. or no, just entity system utils. I think I apply that. Oh, Jesus. Can I just want to copy and paste it over? Can we just accept all from left? I think is what I want to do here. Yeah, accept left. Oh my god, the data type ID. That's a whole new thing. I forgot. Oh no, the filled debug data. Wait, should I be doing right or left? Did I just pick the wrong fucking one? Local version. This is what I have currently. Yeah, okay. I should wait. I think I accepted the wrong one previously. Cancel. Abort and roll back. I need to redo it. Redo it. Revert selected changes. Yes. I need to accept. Right. Well, no, we're gonna. Fuck it. I gotta do this again. Fuck it. Do it again. It's alright. Oh my god, stop. Entity, system, utils. No, undo that. Gimme. Apply, go. Okay, apply. I need to accept right. Yes, I need to accept right. I did the wrong one there. Accept right. Okay. Okay. It hurts. Oh yeah. Oh, it hurts. Yes. Okay, so it didn't grab me the deleted file. Roll this back. Did that get created? It did. Okay, so why are you angry? It's literally there. Oh my god. Oh, it's so different. Oh, I forgot how different it was. I forgot how different it was. Okay. Yeah, I gotta hop off now anyways. I got a meeting I need to get to, so. Yeah, today was kind of a wash. So that's upsetting. But I tried something new and it didn't go very well. So I have some things to write down about that. Well, let's find someone to send you guys over to. Okay, let's see. Let us see. Now, I want to see... Should we raid Cavino? Let's see if we can raid... Well, no, we'll do Stevie Raidron. Keep it in the Unreal Engine family.
Then I have...
Start raid. Okay. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out today. It was a good stream, despite me not being very productive. I think it was a good stream. It was fun. So, thank you all for being here. I appreciate all the subs and the support today. Kind of fucking popped off. So that was cool to see. Tomorrow is the weekend, which is nice. Which means I should be a down bad bitch for another nice stream. So hopefully I'll see you guys then. Thank you all, and good night, or good morning, or whatever, wherever you are.